Easy now everybody. I've got some of these beautiful bleeding heart platies here. They also come under the name of tiger platy, but they're absolutely beautiful. I love these wee guys. And I want to get fry out of them, but because they're in a community tank, the fry keep getting eaten. And I had to come up with a way of working around that. So I've got one of these Marina external breeding boxes here. It's dead straightforward how you put it together. So the first thing you add is this false bottom. And I did find that debris can kind of collect in the corners to this, but you can just siphon it out with a wee bit of air tubing. Then you get a choice of two grills that you insert just to make sure nothing slips through back into the tank that it's on. There's also a grill on the bottom of the lift tube that stops any nasty debris getting up into there, leaves and such like. That slips pretty easily onto the bottom of the lift tube. And then you've got another section which has the kind of angled pipe that allows the water to flow into the box. On the end of that you've got this handy wee end cap that allows you to decide which direction the water flows into it from. You can drop straight down or kind of filter in from one of the sides there. The pipe has a handy wee tab that fits into the box, keeps it nice and steady, it doesn't move about at all. And then obviously you add your air line to the bottom of the uplift tube. Just kind of slips on as you would expect, and then you've got a wee valve that you can adjust so you can change the rate of flow into the box. Works okay. Not the best, but it's alright. The one thing I think is a good idea to add yourself is a non-return valve or a check valve, just so the water can't backflow if your tube comes away from your air pump. You don't get one of them with it, but they're cheap enough to pick up anyway. And then aside from the lid, the only other thing you've got is this spacer. That just allows you to adjust how far the bottom sits from the tank, keeps it nice and level, works well. And there we go, I think it looks kind of neat, I really like these wee things. Works the same as a hang-on back filter. In fact, if you filled it full of filter floss, you might be able to make a wee hang-on filter out of it. The water comes up through the uplift tube and back to the tank at the other end. So once I had my pregnant platy in my net, all I had to do was pop her in, and the breeder box is sharing the water from the tank, so there's no need to acclimate or anything like that. I added a wee bit of moss underneath the false bottom and a couple of floating plants just to give her a bit of cover and make her feel more comfortable. You can see she's a bit skittish from her ordeal. I also chopped the bottom of this mail bag. You can see it's black inside. The idea being to slip it over the bottom. This is a busy part of the house, so if she's completely covered up, she's not going to be troubled by people passing by all the time. This is what I like about these external breeder boxes rather than the ones that sit inside the tank. If it's inside the tank, other fish can be a bit curious, can hassle her a wee bit. She needs to be calm and relaxed, so with this, nobody can get close. Safe and secure in a wee breeding box there, she can concentrate on relaxing and having her babies. I did kind of find that the water kind of spits into the box. It's got the air bubbles and the water coming out at the same time, and that was creating a bit of turbulence. My simple fix to that was just turning it to the side and sticking a wee bit of filter foam in there, and you can see it instantly calm to the water surface. Sure enough, 2 days later, lots of beautiful bleeding heart platy fry. Look at them, they are super cute. So I was able to remove Mum back to the tank and leave these guys safe in their wee box to start growing. Marina do make several versions of these. This is one of the smaller ones in fact, but it works well for me. I've started feeding these guys live microworms, that's what you can see them chasing there. And also finely crushed flake. That's day 2 and I'm sure they're bigger already. I removed the false bottom and added a wee bit more moss. I don't know, they look kind of happy to me. They look comfortable and secure. And hopefully before long I'll have increased my population of these beautiful bleeding heart platies. So I hope that was useful for you. I explained why I do prefer these to the breeder boxes that sit in the tanks. I do feel like it causes less stress to the female. It makes the fry feel a lot safer in their early stages. The other thing about having your breeder box outside the tank is it makes it easier to observe. You can keep a close eye on mum, you can see exactly when the babies are born, and you can watch them develop from a very early stage. It is fascinating watching them straight from birth, and that's a little bit trickier with a breeder net and an internal breeder box. You can use this with other live bearers, and it might be handy if you're maybe trying to develop a shrimp line. It's also a good way to separate a fish that's getting bullied a wee bit and needs some recovery time. If I've forgotten anything, feel free to let me know in the comments below, but otherwise, I'm out. Later, 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 later.